Monday, wasn't it? We were doing those unusual push-ups, and they were just used as an illustration. So this is day 2 of 25 to stay alive, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit at the beginning of this video what I might be doing over the next 24 days. So I thought I might start with just sharing some of my thoughts on the whole aspect of self-isolation and COVID-19, and then share something encouraging with you. And for my Christian friends, as I'm doing some push-ups, I'm going to share some promises from Scripture, promises that keep me on top of the negative pressures that impact all of us at one time or another. So today it's going to be Philippians 4:13, and I'll share that with you a little bit later. But today I want to talk about bubbles. Currently in the COVID-19 self-isolation alert level 4, we're all in these so-called bubbles. And some of them are big and some of them are small. And today I want to talk about the little bubbles. So the little bubbles in community at the present time are probably those bubbles where there's only one person in that bubble. A real little bubble, a tiny bubble. And probably the effects on a person in the tiniest bubble might be a little more extreme than those in bigger bubbles. And I'll explain it this way. People that are in self-isolation on their own, just in the one tiny bubble, can sometimes feel the pressures and the emotions of life because of that isolation, because they're just on their own. Now I know that you can get onto social media, you can use your phones and communicate with different people and your various groups, but still ultimately you're in a physical presence just on your own. And I think if that's the case, you need to be a fairly healthy individual emotionally and mentally, and I'd say spiritually as well, to be able to get through that without going through some difficult periods of perhaps melancholy and depression. Now, not all of us suffer from depression. For me, I'm one of those characters that doesn't really suffer from it very much at all, and I think I owe that to the God in which I believe, who supports me spiritually through those difficult times. But people in little bubbles, they don't have anybody else to really talk to when they're sitting at home. There's no physical presence. I suppose they can get something close to that. I've got my furry friends keeping me company this afternoon, and they don't seem to be getting on very well. But nonetheless, people in their own little bubbles don't have that physical presence unless they get outside and do a little bit of exercise, and they get to see some people. I make a habit of, when I get outside, if I come across people, being socially responsible and practicing the appropriate social distancing, I always say hello, always give them a smile. I almost always get a smile and a wave back. It is very rare that someone wouldn't respond in kind. And that kind of keeps me connected with other people, and of course gives me a lift. And so it's really important, if you're in the little bubble, just on your own, that you get out as often as is reasonable for you to have that kind of contact, to see another person actually acknowledging your existence and just saying to you in either words or through a smile or a greeting that you matter. I've noticed you and you're someone that's worth something. So that's something to think about if you're in the bubble on your own. I know that when you're left on your own, to your own devices, sometimes we're tempted to make choices that aren't beneficial to us. You've got to think beyond that, because all of us have a more or less an ingrained intuition that we know what is right and what is best for us. So push aside those negative thoughts. Don't dwell on them, because they take you into this spiral, this never-ending spiral that takes you into a dark place. It's very hard to climb out of that place. So don't let yourself go down that way in the very first instance. Push those thoughts aside. Think of something in your mind, your favorite pastime, the favorite person that you like to be in, the favorite location that you love to experience and enjoy the atmosphere in, your favorite environment. Think of those things, and they might help keep you from just dropping into that spiral. But anyway, I think that's enough. We need to get on with those push-ups and that encouraging verse that I told you about that comes from Scripture. From here on, I'm probably going to take a few little scriptures which have a positive note from that first letter that Peter the Apostle wrote to the people at that time to encourage them. So let's get on with the push-ups and let's hear what Philippians 4:13 has to say. Watch out for the cats. Now, Philippians is a fairly small book in the New Testament of Scripture. It was written to the people of Philippi, and it was written by the Apostle Paul. And in the 4th chapter and the 13th verse, it says this, and I hope it works for me right now. I can do all things, that's all things, through Christ who strengthens me. I haven't been counting, but I think there's about 11 left. Oh, I hope that's right and I haven't missed any. So these videos are not about me. They're not for me, they're for others, to encourage others. It's not about me whether I can make the next 24 days of 25 push-ups, but I hope that I can, and I hope that the messages that I share will be encouraging, maybe bring a smile to your face, and give you an overall lift for the day. Until tomorrow, God bless, and we'll see you again. Bye.